Ken Dilanian is an NBC News justice and intelligence correspondent, and he joins me now. Ken, understanding that this is a developing story, what more do we know?
Alicia, we have new reporting in from my colleague Kelly O'Donnell, who was told by a source familiar with the matter that, first of all, the president is in New York City today, so he was not present for this search. And that secondly, she has learned that the FBI notified the Secret Service a few hours before the search warrant was executed, and that the Secret Service facilitated their access to the Mar-a-Lago property as federal agents, but did not take part in the search. And that is consistent with the protocol of how these things would go, where the former president, of course, has Secret Service protection, including protection at all his properties. So they have custody of the place. So they're not just going to let anybody in, but of course, their fellow federal law enforcement officers, the FBI, would call them up and say, we have a lawful warrant. We're going to execute this warrant at such and such a time. And that's apparently what took place with this development today. And again, just stepping back, this is a big deal. What this shows, obviously, is that the FBI was able to convince a judge that there was probable cause to believe that there was evidence of a crime and that evidence existed at this location, that they had to go and do this search, a big Fourth Amendment intrusion into someone's property. There's been some speculation by guests, contributors on our air tonight, that this relates to the case of the missing records from the National Archives. If you recall, there were reports that Trump took some records from the White House they shouldn't have taken. That's conceivably possible, but this is just a huge step, unprecedented in American history, perhaps, by the FBI. And so it's coming in the context of this other set of investigations involving Trump and election, election seeking to overturn the election, people close to him being called before the grand jury, lawyers who advised him being targeted with their own warrants. So there's a lot going on in terms of law enforcement activity directed at the former president. Alicia,
do we have a sense of the scope of what it is that they're looking for?
Well, we absolutely don't. It's a secret process. If they're generally, when there's a search warrant like this, an FBI agent will submit an affidavit to the judge describing everything that they're looking for. But almost surely in this case, that affidavit is sealed because this is a secret investigation. There will also be a document filed that shows what the FBI took. Obviously, we're combing court records trying to find this stuff, but so far it doesn't appear to be on file. So, no, we will not know for some time exactly what was taken unless the president wants to tell us. And, it's possible because we learned when his lawyer, Jeffrey Clark, his former election lawyer, was the target of an FBI and Inspector General search warrant. Clark then contested that warrant in court. And as a result of that, we learned that they seized his phone. So we may learn more about this. At the moment, we do not know what they took.
Again, speaking of statements from the president, I wonder what you make of this admission by the president that he and his team are cooperating with investigators.
I mean, I would take that with a complete grain of salt. There's been some reporting that his lawyers are in touch with the Justice Department. That makes perfect sense. I mean, he's got a lot of experienced lawyers who are going to want to reach out and find out what exactly the Justice Department wants with their clients, what questions they have, what actions they're taking. Whether he's cooperating is another matter. Has he spoken to investigators on any of these cases? We have no idea. So I think we should be very careful about any kind of statement to that effect.